Hello my crochet friends, this is Sarah from Ned and Mimi, and in this video we are going to learn how to crochet the Trinity stitch. Now this stitch pattern is definitely simpler than it looks, and I really love the almost woven effect that you get when you use 3 colours with this stitch pattern, but it actually looks equally great work in a single colour, so if you want to do that you absolutely have the option to do so. So I have used this stitch pattern to make a dishcloth, as you can see here, and you can find the free pattern for that on my website nedandmimi.com, and it is linked below. And in the written pattern you'll also find instructions on using this stitch pattern to make a custom size. Now before I get started, I do want to tell you that this particular dishcloth is part of a set of 3 coordinating patterns, and you can also find those linked below. So each pattern is completely different, but they are made in complementary colours, so I think they look really lovely together and they make a really nice set. So in terms of materials, for my dishcloth I used a worsted weight cotton yarn and a 5.5mm or letter I crochet hook. But if you wish to use the stitch pattern to make something else like a scarf or a blanket, then you can use any yarn that you like and a suitable hook. Now the only thing I will say is that this stitch pattern can tend to be a little bit tight, so you might want to go up a hook size or 2 from what you would normally use. So without further ado, let us get started. For this Trinity stitch pattern we are going to begin with a slip knot as always, and then we can chain any even number for this stitch pattern. So I am going to chain 14. Okay, so now when I'm working into my starting chain, I actually like to flip my work over and work into these back bumps, and I feel like working into these just gives a really nice neat edge to my work. Now I am going to skip the first chain from the hook and then begin working into the back bump here of the second chain. So I'll just insert my hook and just work a single crochet to start the row. The next stitch is going to be a single crochet 3 together, and we're going to work this over 3 chains. So the first leg of our single crochet 3 together is going to be back into the first chain that we just worked into. So we insert our hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, insert our hook into the next chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, then insert it into the next chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then finally yarn over and pull through all 4 loops to complete the stitch. Now I will chain 1 and then move on to the next stitch, which is going to be another single crochet 3 together. So we're going to work the first leg of this stitch back into the last chain that we just worked into. So insert your hook back into that chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, then insert it into the next chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then finally insert it into the next chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops to complete the stitch, and then chain 1 again. So now we just need to repeat the stitch pattern all the way along the row. So I will go ahead and do that now, and I will see you back here just to show you how to finish off the row. Alrighty, so here I am at the end of the row, and I've just worked my final single crochet 3 together. So now I need to work 1 more single crochet into the last chain. So as you can see, I've already worked into this chain as part of the last stitch, but I need to work into it again. And the only small difference at the end of the row is that we are not going to chain 1 after the single crochet 3 together. We're just going to work directly into that last chain. So now I'm going to pause here before I complete that final stitch. So for this pattern, I'm working each row in a different colour. So just before I complete the row, I want to change to my new colour. So to do that, I am simply going to yarn over my new colour to complete the single crochet, and now I am ready to go on to row 2. And you don't need to worry about colour 1, you can just leave that attached and we are going to use that again later on. So let's get straight into row 2 now. So we will chain 1 and turn our work, and that chain does not count as a stitch. So the first stitch is going to be a single crochet just as it was in row 1, and if you want you can just tighten things up a little bit here just to make your edge neater, but don't worry, we're going to be weaving in those ends later, and you might even choose to work a border to cover them up. Okay, so that's the first single crochet done. Now we are going to work another single crochet 3 together. So insert your hook back into that same stitch that we just worked into, then into the next stitch, and then into the next one. And then just yarn over and pull through all 4 loops to complete the stitch. And again, chain 1. So now you just need to repeat that pattern all the way along the row. So I will go ahead and do that now, and then I will see you at the end of the row for the next colour change. Alrighty, so here I am at the end of the row. I've completed my last single crochet 3 together, and remember you don't chain 1 after this stitch at the end of the row. So let's work our final single crochet, insert our hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. And now, as with the previous row, I'm not going to complete this stitch. I am going to grab my third colour, and this is where things start to get interesting. So I yarn over my new colour and pull through, and that is the colour change made. And again, I can just leave colour 2 attached here, and we are going to use that later. So now we can go ahead and do one more row in this new colour, and it's going to be exactly the same as row 2. And now that we've introduced the third colour, I think you're really going to like the effect that it creates. So I will go ahead and work this next row, and then I will just do one final colour change back to colour 1 to show you how everything is going to look. Alrighty, so here we are at the end of row 3, and now I'm going to switch back to the very first colour. So I will insert my hook again to begin the last single crochet, but don't complete it. And I'm going to keep my working yarn to the back of my work, and now yarn over the first colour and pull it through, and I'll just gently float that colour up the side of my work. And as I said earlier, we can work a border to cover up these floats, or if you can keep your colour changes really neat, you might find that you don't even need to work over them. So I will go ahead now and work one more row in this colour. So at the end of the row, I am going to just change back to color 2 this time. So doing it in exactly the same way as we did previously and floating the yarn up the side of our work. And that is it. So that is the Trinity stitch worked in 3 different colors. And I really, really love the effect that you get here from the colors kind of overlapping. I think it almost looks woven and I'm really, really happy with it. So now all you need to do is continue to repeat row 2 for as long as you need to. So there we have it, we are all done. I really hope you have enjoyed learning this Trinity stitch pattern with me. And as you can see here from my finished dishcloth, I have gone ahead and worked a simple single crochet border around that just to finish it off. Now, if you do have a second to subscribe and like this video, that would be absolutely amazing. And I have lots more tutorials and patterns on my channel and website, nedandmimi.com. So do check those out. Happy crocheting and take care.